So, you download to XKO, you do the game tutorials, you maybe even pick up some videos and you're ready to have fun. But then, you play some casual games and things quite frankly don't go as expected. You're still losing every game or feeling like you don't know what you're doing. What happened? You just fell into the FGC shithole. What, you don't know what that stands for? Don't worry, the Brazilian Luffy got you with an actual guide for new players. By the end of it, you'll feel like a pro. Welcome to the only beginner tutorial that was made for beginners by beginners, and it's the one you will ever need for XKO. If you want to learn how to win, progress, and get better all the way to your path to Challenger if you want to, I got you, you're in the right place. But before we get started, I want to say a few things. First one, this video is supposed to be something that you can skip towards the parts you want, and you can go back to rewatch them as you progress and get better. The second thing is, I have to confess that for the first few days I was playing this game, I was stuck in bronze playing Yasuo, and then I hit diamond. But the reality is, you're closer in skill to me as a new player than I am to challenger players. The gap is much larger in skill. So hopefully, knowing this encourages you and shows you that you can still get a cool rank and play somewhat competitively if you work smart and not hard. And by the end of this video, I hope you accomplish exactly that. You'll be able to get where I am much faster, and I want you to have a much smoother experience than I had learning this game. I see this game losing new players by the minute, and I really like it, and I hope the community grows instead of decrease. And I have strong opinions on why I think this is happening. I will address them later. For now, smash that like button and subscribe if you want to see more content from a new player perspective, so we can get better and have fun together. This is my first time getting a real shot at content creation, so this will make so much difference to me. Thank you. So let's start with having fun and setting up the right expectations. What are you talking about? I thought this was a 2XKO tutorial. Shh. Oh, the rabbit hole. You don't understand it yet, child. Very smart. 2XKO. The meets the eye. Holy fuck. What was that? Don't worry about it. Continuing. So, if you ever play Dungeons and Dragons, the tabletop RPG with your friends, you'll learn super fast that there are different types of players that enjoy the same game in different ways. For example, Box's idea of having fun in XKO is reading his opponent so he can do a sick parry or learn almost impossible combos with firmly perfect stuff.
I got 15-0 earlier today and not a single match was close. But I swear that I'm better now. I'm a better man than I was 8 hours ago. I will get these parries.
And you know, that's you when you download to XKO. Maybe you don't want to do that exactly, but you want to have fun. And my biggest tip to accomplish that is to play with someone. Finding and playing with a duo, it doesn't matter if he or she is your friend or not. As long as you have similar skill levels, your experience will be twice as much fun as if you're playing alone. So my first tip to you is just add anyone you see playing. Especially if they are playing Juggernaut or Sidekick and they only know how to play one character, you can do them and, you know, play the other character. And this will be more fun. I swear, you can even exchange Discord information. That's something you can do. Look, just like Box, you can have fun alone, but maybe your idea of having fun is different from most people, and that's totally okay. That said, I also wish someone had warned me that XKO is a way more limited game than others when it comes to options for having fun. You know, getting beaten repeatedly without being able to blame anyone is not fun. So you might not enjoy the game the way you are expecting if you set up your expectations for failure. This is super important. If you're simply not having fun, you're going to drop the game anyways after 1 or 2 days of practicing, right? That's why I need to help you with your expectations before we actually get into the mechanics of the game. What exactly I'm talking about? Well, let me give you my example. My idea of having fun on XKO on the first day was I want to learn a basic Yasuo gameplay and hop into casual game and win against other new players who also just started playing XKO but did not take the time to learn basic gameplay from others on YouTube, like you're doing right now. Maybe that's also your idea of having fun for now, and that's why you're here. So my expectation was I would spend 10 to 15 minutes learning a combo or two and watching tutorials, and boom, I would start winning, right? Wrong. I set up my expectations for failure. You see, the problem is, in my opinion, the only available resource on learning this game came from the FGC. This term again, what is this? This, my friend, if you're new, is its own can of worms. I will be releasing a video about it in a couple days. Subscribe. But for the sake of continuing your actual tutorial for beginners, you can understand FGC simply as a term that refers to a bunch of people who have played fighting game for years and they are so out of touch with reality, they will release tutorials saying that anything is easy and they assume you already know everything about the game. So learning from them is basically useless. You see, I'm not bad at video games, I bet you aren't either. I have honed my skill as a gamer throughout the years playing multiple games, so I don't expect people to babysit me on tutorials, but I do expect them to assume I know nothing and teach me how to play the game on a basic level. And oh boy, I was wrong. There were no tutorials for the game because all these veteran fighting game players are too worried about their own gameplay to stop for a moment, and the ones that do take a moment are frustratingly hard to follow because as a new player coming to a new gaming genre, you don't know what they're talking about. And usually when they stop for a moment to address new players' questions, they're really intermediate level questions when you think about it, not really beginner. Like this video, for example, someone asked this content creator, how do you train your new team? That's something new players will struggle with. And yeah, he gives solid advice on how to do that. The problem is most players won't get that far. My problem was I don't even know how to walk in the game. Not like I don't know how to press A and D, I don't know how I should be moving around, what I should be doing, right? So when I was following these tutorials from these people, it took me hours to learn a basic combo, which later I learned was an intermediate to advanced combo, definitely not what I was looking for to learn as my first combo, but to these people this was basic. Yes, I learned a cool Yasuo combo, but I didn't know how to position myself. This is the main reason I decided to create this video. Another thing that surprised me that I was not ready at all, that you may also be experiencing and feeling during your gameplay, is that your character can do a lot. And I mean really, there's a lot they can do. Actually, too many things. I never thought about this before playing 2xKO, but in games in general, there are only so many things your character can do. You usually walk around, you throw some skills, or you can shoot, you can build, you can throw, whatever it is. It's usually not that much. The depth of the game comes from other things, a lot of different things. Take Rocket League, for example. There are not that many buttons, you just walk around, but the way you interact with the ball and move and position and learn how to control these few movement options makes everything. Now, in a fighting game, that's not the case. There are no different things for you to learn and improve. There is your character to play and that's it. So when you come from other games and you're a gamer and you get things quickly, you may think this game is too hard or boring because now you realize all of the focus is in the micro gameplay. There's no macro. So you lose a lot of transferable skills. In this case, you feel like you never played another video game before, like you're completely new. You won't be able to pick up movement pretty fast. Yes, you'll know how to press buttons, but it's kinda not the same. You won't be good with map awareness because there's no map. There's very limited teamwork if you're playing duels, otherwise there is no teamwork. There is no managing your economy or gold or items. There is no mouse, so if you're good at flicking or tracking or anything really, it doesn't matter. It's all centered around your character and it will feel weird for you and me. And how do we fix that? Something that helped me and I hope helps you too is the following. So a way to think about this is instead of feeling overwhelmed to learn all these micro things, instead of thinking, oh gosh, this is too hard, there are so many combinations of buttons and different options and I don't know what to do, I want you to reframe it to, oh, okay, the game depth of this game comes from this singular focus point, piloting the character, so it's okay if I'm bad at it. When you're learning League for the first time, you knew subconsciously that it was okay if you're bad at building the right items, if you didn't know how to move around the map, or you didn't know how to play team fights, because that's obvious, you're new to the game. But one thing that we don't allow ourselves as gamers is to be bad at pilot our characters, because that's like gaming 101, right? The first thing you do when you open a game is you spam buttons, like you walk around, you press shift, spacebar, click to see what you can do, and then you do that for a couple seconds or minutes and boom, you mastered your character and you're ready to play the game, right? This is not how it works here. So like, it's okay if you're bad at the game, because that's the entire game. It's piloting your character. So don't feel bad. There is nothing besides that. Take it easy. It's almost like learning a new instrument. You have to be patient. Which, funnily enough, a small tangent here, something fighting game players don't seem to have much of. I heard a guy say in Twitch chat that he didn't like other games like League of Legends or Fortnite because they were too slow. And that's funny because one, Fortnite is crazy fast, and when I asked him what he played in League of Legends, I thought he was going to say jungle because, you know, he said slow, but he said top lane. Which I thought was pretty funny, because in top lane, as soon as the game starts, you're already killing each other. And apparently that was still slow enough for him. So I thought, yeah, this guy is a fighting game player for sure. These people have no chill. Anyway, I hope your expectations now are set up properly for your success to play 2xKO for a long time now. I know this introduction was a bit longer than usual on YouTube, but trust me, if you're a new player, you'll thank me later for all of this. All that said, let our actual beginner-friendly tutorial made from a beginner for beginners begin. Now that your expectations are set up properly, I know you want to start mashing buttons, but calm your fingers down, relax for a second. Before you do that, there's one last thing to learn about. I know, but it's a very useful FGC lingo you use for the rest of your fighting game career, and I have to give props to them for this one. So players will play in different setups or arrange their keys in different ways. It doesn't really matter, you just do what works for you. For everyone, including me and you, to be on the same page, we would use classic FGC notation. Instead of saying square for light attacks or J on the keyboard, we're going to say light for a light attack using the L notation. And if we need to specify if you're jumping or going forwards during our light attack, we're going to say J for jump before it. Simple, right? Or J6L for jumping forward light attack. And why 6 instead of simply saying forwards? Well, that's the wrong question. We all know abbreviations are good for notations. The right question is, why the fuck are we using numpad numbers to clarify directions instead of just using clock numbers, which is way more intuitive for anyone on the planet, really. Anyway, using these notations, everyone can be on the same page when we say heavy attack instead of circle, because you might not be playing on a joystick. It's a necessary evil. I know that if you're playing on a joystick, even on keyboard, and you just pick up the game, you want the joystick or keyboard notations. But it's just 5 buttons, you'll be fine. Now, you have your expectations set up properly, you know the notations. How do you win at 2xKO? Something that the FGC will never tell you is the answer to that simple question. What is this game about? How do you win? What is the point of this game? They've been doing this for so long, they probably forgot this question even existed in the first place. And I don't mean the actually obvious answer. We're not stupid. I'm not referring to destroy the Nexus in League of Legends. I don't mean plant or defuse the bomb in Counter-Strike or be the last one standing in Fortnite. That's how you win. I don't mean get your opponent's HP to 0 in 2xKO. Every gamer knows that. What I mean is, for example, League of Legends is a game of tempo and gathering more resources than your opponent. What is 2xKO about? 2xKO is actually a reading game, so you have to press buttons at the right time. You can't just press them willy-nilly. They literally won't work. It will be incredibly frustrating at times if you get this habit early on. This is especially true if you're in a tough spot or getting your adrenaline up. Mash will be like shooting yourself in the foot. These are the most crucial moments that you have to be precise. And they won't tell you to not create this habit or to avoid doing this. They will just say, oh, look at this guy mashing, or oh, he's such a noob. Like, what? We don't know that. So what else, you may ask? 2xKO is also a game about maximizing our damage after you connect our first hit. So in this case, this would be your combos, right? This is actually a very important topic for beginners. As I said, I spent hours learning and mastering a difficult combo. You know, it's not enough to learn them once. You have to be able to do them consistently. It's super common that you spend hours training something on training mode and then you get to actual matches and you won't be able to do what you trained. There is also a time of transition. That's actually one of the main reasons why using pulse combo is a good idea for new players, because you won't waste that precious time learning something that you might not even be able to use consistently, while pulse combo is 100% consistent all the time. we are getting ahead of ourselves here. Before that, actually 2x KO is more about connecting your first hit. When you think about it, it makes sense, right? Why would my Yasuo beat a challenger player using Yasuo even if they never played the character before, just because I know a sequence of buttons and they don't, right? It makes no sense. Because 2x KO is also a game about not giving the first hit to your opponent, or hit confirm as they call it, a hit that can be translated to a combo, and getting this yourself. If you're new at the game and if you're a beginner like me, the biggest problem is not your combo, it's not getting comboed and finding openings so you can start your combo. That's the whole fighting game thing. That's 2x KO in a nutshell. Kept hearing this term thrown around. Oh, this neutral. Oh, I got him in neutral. This is a cool neutral. And I thought they are meaning like pressing 5M or 5H and connecting, right? And when you got them in neutral, you would start a combo. No, turns out neutral is the state of the game where both characters have not started attacking each other. So this is what's called neutral. And 2x KO is about getting out of neutral and going through offense, where you do your combos. I know you'll be hearing from the FGC members talking about 2 taps or 3 taps. More advanced combos, they not only look cool and they are fun to learn, but they also allow you to 2 tap your opponent. Meaning, we're talking about combos that deal about 500 damage or more when they connect. The maximum health a character can have is 1000 for big ones. So if you learn a hard combo or expert combo, whatever, that deals 500 damage or more, that's half the maximum HP. So you just need to do your combo twice and you kill your enemy. And remember, when you start hitting your opponent, unless you drop your combo, there's pretty much nothing they can do unless they have break, or if the combo started from an awkward place. Now, if you only know a beginner combo that I will be teaching you, and I recommend that you only learn a beginner combo for now, you will deal less than 500 damage. And you will have to do the combo 3 times instead of 2 times. And knowing this, a beginner trap is to think, well, then why would I waste my time learning a beginner combo when I can just skip it, learn more advanced combos already? Well, it doesn't really work. 2x KO is not about who has the biggest, longer, cool looking combo. That's just one aspect of it, which is maximizing damage. And that's arguably one of the least important, because at any point you can just grind your combo in training mode. If you would rank this ability, it's probably one of the least importance. It's like flicking in Counter-Strike, skill flashing in League. Yes, these look cool and you win more games on average if you're good at them, but you won't get better at the game because you know how to do this thing. This is something you can avoid and train later, and it's probably better if you do. There are a lot of things that are arguably way more important. Having a game plan, knowing when to play defense, getting the most value out of your assists, moves and tags, playing your opening the right way in the beginning of the match is something that I had no idea about. A lot of fighting game players coming from different games will pick up pulse and sometimes climb all the way challenger with it. So there's nothing wrong with using pulse, just your own head telling you that, I should learn a combo because that's the game, right? No, it's not. Really, guys, it doesn't matter if you're 2-tapping or 3-tapping your opponent when you suck at the game. But I know, if you still want to do it, remember, everyone has fun in different ways, and at some point you have to learn the combos anyway. You know, learning combos can be pretty fun, so we are going to go through them. In my opinion, are the best combos to learn as a beginner. They will stick with you as you get better. So hopefully this painted a better picture for you about 2x KO. The basic combo, quote unquote, for all characters is the same. It's light, medium, heavy, down heavy. Down heavy is a launcher, you launch them there, and then you jump and repeat. Light, medium, heavy. Since you're in there and you can down heavy again, you're going to press either S1 or S2 or S1, S1, S2 if you're playing Yasuo, S1, S2, something like that. You just press and see what works. This will work with all characters, but in my opinion, these are not BNBs for new players. They are just basic combos. The FGC has this term, BNB, to refer to your go-to combo, something you'll default if you hit confirm your opponent. So it's, you know, automatic, quick, you don't have to think about it. And you'll do that by training in the training room, which a lot of FGC players will call labbing or lab. I have no idea why, but you know, it's probably because a training room was called lab in the past. I don't know. So yeah, this means that if you want to improve certain aspects of the game in your gameplay, you have to go in the training room. It's also an aspect of the game, about track skill, that, you know, it's not just queuing up every time. Yes, you can play with pulls, but they can be less fun, I acknowledge that. So, in my opinion, Ahri BNB combo for a character has to be slightly better than a basic universal combo, otherwise there's no point in doing that, and it has to deal at least 333 damage so you can 3-tap your opponents. If you think about it, doesn't matter if your combos deal 333 damage or 499, you end up 3-tapping your opponents in most cases anyway. More importantly, it will take you like 5 minutes to learn max, maybe like 2 minutes. But combos that deal more than 600 damage, this will take you hours, probably days, probably maybe weeks to learn them, to do them consistently in matches. Even so, you'll probably drop them. Pro players do that. Evo France happened recently. A lot of players were dropping their combos. It's like a thing. Don't think you're bad because you do that. So the trade-off to learn hard combos for new players really isn't there. Please stick with the BNBs I will be teaching you here, or the post combos. With no further ado, let's go. You can also add S1 super in the end if you want to. The only hard part about this combo that you may have trouble with is this aerial dash where you have to chain forwards heavy 2 times and you have to cancel the first one using dash so you can do the second one, otherwise it won't work. Now, I know this can be advanced for a beginner, but I chose this combo anyway because Ahri is such a mobile character, and in pretty much all of her advanced combos you have to learn to dash in the air, to cancel something. You need to be comfortable with her in the air. It's non-negotiable for this character. So yeah, there you go. So this is a combo you can do for Blitzcrank instead of the global one. Of course, you can start with light instead of medium or down light. The only thing you need to be aware of is that this combo in particular changes the direction. If your opponent is in the corner, you don't want to use this combo, you just want to use the regular one. 1, 2, 3, fight! Just make sure you're holding S2 to connect your combo and try to spam medium, pick up your combo again. Okay, Darius main, shh, don't tell anyone I'm teaching you this combo, okay? It's not a beginner combo if you compare to the other ones in here, but for just a little bit more inputs, you get so much more damage. I think it's worth to learn this one. The only difficult part, you have to dash. You can use the dash button for this, it's way easier if you do. You can just hold forward and spam dash, and when Darius move, you can switch to spamming medium, and you'll get this pretty much 100% of the time. You can also just hold down in the first part of the combos, so it's actually not that hard. You just have to release down in time for you to dash forward, and that's it. You pick up the combo again with medium, which is very common across a lot of characters, and this can be a little tricky for beginners, but it's heavy standing, so no inputs, just heavy, forwards heavy, and you close it basically just mashing S1 and heavy. Now, the other reason I'm teaching this combo, not only because it's really strong and easy, it doesn't matter if you mess up the combo, that's the best part. If you get your inputs wrong, you can still do a lot of damage. You may not do the full combo, but you're still dealing more damage than other characters with their basic BNBs, which is kinda crazy. And if you do get the combo but you press the wrong buttons, it still works. You can get away with anything.
Winding up! Time's up!
For Illaoi, we are going to go through this in parts. First things first, make sure you have the basic universal combo down, so you have to be hitting this 100% consistent to do this combo. This is going to be how we finish this combo.
Okay, now I need you to be familiarized with this small sequence. Let's repeat this until you're super comfortable. Medium, heavy, down S2. Medium, heavy, down S2. Keep doing that until you don't have to think about it. Now we're going to add this. Don't get scared, we're going to go through this together. Train this motion. Simply run forward, medium, down S1. Run forward, medium, down S1, dash, medium, down S1, dash, medium, down S1. Now, if we put the first one and the second one together, we get this. And we finish with the universal basic combo. One more time. So Vi is a very intuitive character, you'll have a lot of fun playing her as a new player. She has a lot of synergy with a lot of characters, and using this combo you don't have to worry about frame perfect stuff that we're going to go through in gameplay. For Warwick, you have to get this timing down. Medium, heavy, down S1, medium. You can also hold down S1 if you want to. Now that you got it, we need to catch the combo up again by pressing M. You can't mash, it has a specific timing and the window is larger than you think. I dropped this by waiting too long just to show you that you can get this super late. After you hit medium, the rest is pretty much straightforward. There is also this variation of the combo that instead of picking up with medium, you can just go straight to heavy if you prefer. It doesn't really matter which one you go for. You can also use S2 super in the end.
All I have left is the wind by my side.
I know this is hard, but every Yasuo player does this. Now you know how to extend that combo. It's also useful because if you catch them in the air, you can also use the extension the same way. So most people will get up to this part just fine. If you're having trouble before this, it's probably because you're not holding. If you hold down, you can just press S1 and heavy without having to let go of it, which makes it much easier. Now the problem people have when they try this part is because you can't buffer the S1 button. If you press it too fast, you're just going to stand there like an idiot. So instead, you're going to take your time, make a pause, and then press forward S1. So you can hold the direction button, but you have to time the S1 precisely. Now it's time to let go of forwards, instead hold down S1. Now you don't have to let go of down again to heavy and finish like normally. If you think this is too hard, you're right, Yasuo is a hard character.
Your basic game plan will consist of the best moves and strategies to move around and help you get the first hit going, so you know what you're doing when you're playing the game. I will also give you some moves that you should try to avoid using them too much. A universal game plan that works with all characters is jumping and calling your assist. If you jump and press a variety of possible buttons depending on the character and call your assist on the ground, you're covering both low and high ground, and this can be really strong because if your assist hits below, you can tag into them and continue the combo from there, or sometimes in the air, you can cross up on them. Let's get into Ahri's game plan.
So the first thing about Ahri would be her movement. You have to get used to using dash in the air and in the ground. And then you want to get used to resetting. When you're comfortable resetting your dashes, you want to implement this move. You see how Vi is turning around as I'm about to hit her? This is called a cross-up. You go through the character. If they're holding back to defend, they need to switch the direction which they're blocking to successfully block your attack, which makes it really strong, and one of Ahri's best too to break through someone's defense. Another great button that Ahri has to use in neutral is her heavy attack. It's super useful to control space and maybe get your opponent. If your opponent picks up to the fact that you're jumping a lot, you can try to fool them by cancelling your jump with down S2 immediately. Now, if you're doing things right, they will never expect what comes next. You can simply just run it down on the ground and press light attack. Ahri has one of the fastest light attacks in the game, so it will definitely caught them by surprise. You can also use down light to get their feet in case they are defending standing up, so you sneak through their defense this way. If you're having trouble using down H with her because you're out of range, just follow up with either S1 or S2 so you can reach them. When they get tired of you jumping around, they will try to contest you in the air, and that's when grabbing them in the air gets super effective because it's super fast. Lastly, before you tag out, remember you can press down S1 to apply more pressure. I forgot to mention, this move can get a lot of inexperienced players by surprise, but be careful because if you miss them or they block it, they will have a large window to punish you. After this subtle foreshadow on how to play Blitz, I just want to be pretty straightforward with you. These are his best buttons to use in neutral. After you get comfortable with them, you can try to mix up forwards L like a maniac. And lastly, the last thing you want to learn as Blitz is how to use his cut step. Cancelling his spin into a grab. When you realize they're blocking, you can switch to the carry step. You can even go as further as light, medium and carry step. This is not really beginner friendly, but you can even call assist in the middle, and if you manage to do that successfully, there's a lot of crazy things you can do. That's pretty much it for Blitz. He's a simple character, but he's super fun to play, and his damage output is insane. I highly recommend you playing Blitz. A move that you should try avoiding as Blitzcrank, it's probably his hook. The better players you face, the more they will parry it or jump over it and get a full punish. That said, if you're new to the game, you can abuse it. The first thing I would tell to a new Braum player is to abuse this move. You want to press backwards and S2 so you can shoot up and then call your assist. On this note, try to avoid playing Braum alone. Instead of Juggernaut, please use at least Sidekick. You can use this move at round start. You can do this running at them. You can do this while pressuring them. You can do this whenever, and if they block, it's not a big deal. Talking about his shield assist is crazy good. If you manage to predict when they are attacking, and you put Braum on the screen with his shield up, you get a full punish for free. And if you use too late and they are hitting Braum, you can also sacrifice him as a body to get a free punish. Defending first and then looking for a window to punish is probably Braum's most consistent game plan to get hits in. You can also try to space your opponents, but this can be really tricky and depends on the timing. It is necessary though, because if you keep just bringing your shield up, they're going to run towards you to try to grab you. Another move beginners don't use a lot is the Purl. You can use Purl as anti-air, you can use Purl to end your block string, you can use Purl when the enemy is on the other side of the screen, you can use Purl just to check if they're blocking, or to try to annoy them to make them run up to you. Because as Braum, you don't want to be the one going forwards towards them.
Braum is really slow, and his medium, which is his best move to try to hit confirm someone, is not too fast, so you can't run at them and then use them, it's too slow. You'll get smacked in the face doing that. So just stand there like a menace and let them come to you. If they get too excited running at you, just press S1 super. This is especially effective if you are low health or they are low health. This ensures that either they get chip damage, so they are really low, or die if they input wrong for some reason, like backwards dash, or if you are the low one, it ensures you use your specials bar before dying because they don't come back in the next round. Another way you can try to hit confirm is jumping and pressing S1. I wouldn't really recommend trying to do that too much because 1, you can get anti-air, 2, the timing is scuffed, 3, they can mash L, and 4, if you press too fast they would just be blocking because they were not even ready to punish you yet. But it can work sometimes, so you know, it's another option you have. If you want to simply walk forwards, your best bet will probably be just pressing M. If they are blocking you, remember you can just press down S2 and you get free unbreakable. By the way, some people are confused to the unbreakable mechanic. Why does his armor work sometimes and other times it doesn't? When you get unbreakable and your shield gets blue, it means that every attack that is using your shield has armor. So your light attacks don't have armor. Basically your mediums and heavies will have. Braum can also go through projectiles holding S2. That's it, you have your beginner game playing for Braum. For your Darius basic game plan, I'll keep things really simple. First thing I would like you to focus is on his range. He already does naturally a lot of damage, so when you combine this with the safety of his range, you'll be deleting people in no time. His sweep can be extended into S2, S2 and super. If they're throwing stuff at you, hit them with the super. Darius doesn't have many options for neutral, but he has solid neutral. You can simply use his median or dash median to catch people, jump S1, and down S1. As an Illaoi player, you're playing one of the most honest characters in the game. There's not a single strategy or move that you can press more than others. To be honest, if you're playing Illaoi and you're in neutral, you simply have to play better than your opponent. This is one of the characters that if you're not calling assist enough or not using down tag to call her in, it can be really hard. Other characters will be either faster than you, have more range than you, or simply be more obnoxious. You have to be jumping in, calling assists, breaking projectiles with forwards S1, using anti-air when they jump, or punishing when they make mistakes. There is no secret to playing Illaoi, just the more you play Trax KO, the better you get at her. The only tip actually worth giving here, after you get them in the corner and use her tentacle special, try to backdash a bit so you have space and not immediately lose all the value just by getting hit on wake up. Look, Ekko is a really privileged character and his assists are amazing, probably the best in the game. But I recognize his combos can be really hard for beginners and I don't want you to spend hours in the training room. So my recommendation is just do whatever works for you after you press the initial buttons on your BNB. His mediums are good, he's fast, just make sure you're using his double jump enough to bait your opponents, and that's it. I'm sure Ekko has tons of resources everywhere. As Jinx, your best ally will be jumping backwards, super jumps and your missiles. Only use your traps when it's safe to do so. If you keep spamming them, you'll get punished. But if you spam missiles on the other hand, it's way safer. Your best buttons to fish for the first hit is going to be S2 along your assists, and since you're jumping a lot, down heavy is also really good, but you also should try to call assists at the same time to cover for the recovery time. Your anti-air, down heavy, sometimes will whiff if they're super jumping over you, so pressing backwards heavy can be really good. To hit them with this move, the follow-up is S2. When they are rushing you, sometimes offense is the best defense. If you just run at them occasionally, it can caught them by surprise. Diagonal missile can also be really strong to zone. The secret is to mix it up. Lastly, when they are on the ground, try using your monkey because it will give you a lot of strong options. Here are a couple things you can do. That's pretty much it for her basics. Good luck!
Teemo, 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 I love you. Teemo, 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 Cottontail, happy
Doesn't know what to do.
as you know. Treasure becomes silver. Where you hide,
He just logged off.
very much, and I hope you love me too.
Vi has 4 main ways to get in: simply dashing and pressing light, swaying forward and pressing L, jumping forwards down heavy, you can also use super jump with this, and her standing S1. Vi is super straightforward, you don't need her electrics to have a lot of fun, and remember that her S1 special is invincible, so you can use it to counter other specials. And the move you should try to avoid doing too much on Vi is her sway. Against better players, they will either parry it, and depending on the range, they can even mash L. So to cover that weakness, you can call assist and then sway past them. That's pretty much it for Vi basics. As Warwick, as a new player, your easiest way to get your hit confirms is going to be mix-ups on block. If you press down medium or down heavy during your attacks, you'll open up their defense if they're standing. Doing this while mixing with his overheads will work a lot until you face really good players. Other options you have to get out of neutral is spacing your opponent, moving back and forth and pressing M. Your range will much likely be higher than theirs and make it much easier for you to space. I should mention about him, if your opponent is down on the ground, running at them can give you an advantage. It will make them guess which move is coming next. Lastly, you can risk launching yourself at them through the air and see if it hits. Good luck with your Warwick journey, he is a super fun character. As Yasuo, you have to remember you don't have to go after them even if they don't have projectiles to throw at you. Putting wind wall up can create a lot of pressure because it gives you so many options and allows you to condition them and punish assists. Now, when you're running towards them, Yasuo's strongest hit confirm, without a doubt, is jumping S1 and calling assist. New players won't be able to block this a lot of the time. Every time your assist is up, you can abuse this, it's kinda crazy. But your options definitely don't end here. You can simply dash towards them and press M, because Yasuo's M is kinda amazing. It's fast, its range is good, and he is fast. When they are scared of you, walking back or dashing backwards, you can even dash forward and then forward S1 to catch them by surprise. But the follow-up to this is a stance light into stance medium into stance heavy, which is not really easy. But don't worry, you can still jump and press S1. You can press down S1, let go of down and press S1 again. You can jump forwards and hold heavy. You can press S1 into super, and your down medium into forwards S1 is not even that bad. So seriously, your offense will not be your problem. If you pick Yasuo early, you might get carried by his offensive power and your defense might suck. That's it for Yasuo basics. Now that you have your BNB and know your base game plan for your character, time to learn defense and stop getting hit for free. By the way, you can have 2 characters at this point, you just go back to find a character that works for you. Playing a Juggernaut or Sidekick is not the best. Talking about fields, here's a list of which fields is the best for each character, so you can play anything you want. Now let's get back to defense. The first thing I would say about defense, if you're getting hit and you don't know why, it's probably because you're either not standing up or not crouching while defending at the right time. So then the question becomes, how am I supposed to block if I don't know if I should be standing up or crouching? My tip is the following: always crouch when defending, because lower attacks are much faster and hard to defend and react, while overheads that you need to be standing up to defend is way easier to react and you can just let go of down to defend them. If you do this, you shouldn't feel like you're getting hit for no reason, because every time you're crouching and you get hit, you'll learn, oh, this is an overhead, and then you can correct that later. If you don't do that, you just feel like you're getting hit and you don't know why. Be aware that there are moves that hit behind you, forcing you to change the direction you're holding backwards to defend the move, basically making you walk towards them to defend, which can be counterintuitive for new players. Famously, Yasuo forwards S1, but a lot more common are jumping forwards down heavy attacks. These will hit behind you and you probably won't understand why you're getting hit as a new player. That's why it's so important to keep your plan of holding down and back to defend, because if you stand up to defend something they are jumping to do at you and you know you stand up in time, then it means it's not just an overhead, it's also a cross up, and you have to change directions to defend it, which makes learning to parry that stuff way more effective in my opinion than trying to guess which direction you should defend. Now, if you genuinely think that you should have defended and your inputs are simply not registering or it's not working,
eu defendi, porra! Eu defendi, cara! Eu defendi!
What may be happening is that you're probably trying to jump or backdash at the same time. When you press jump, there is a small window of 3 frames, if I'm not mistaken, that you simply can't defend. You're just going to get hit. And backdashing does not count as defense. So if you meant to press back once and you press it twice, you'll get hit. I hope this makes you less confused when you're playing the game. The second most important thing about defending is learning how to wake up. If you hold S1 or S2 while you are waking up, you can create a force field around you that will push everyone away. But this can be blocked or avoided, which will result in you getting smoked. If you try to roll, a lot of the times you're going to get grabbed or jabbed in the face, because when you roll, you lose invulnerability. They can press things faster than you can. So your safest option in the corner is to not press anything, and while your character is waking up, can input defense. Now, a lot of players will pick up on this and realize they can just press down and light or medium and get you while you are waking up. So again, remember to press down defense when you're waking up. You have a couple alternatives if you want to try something different. If you think they are going to grab you on wake up, you can press grab yourself and deny it. Lastly, the most advanced option you have is holding block while you're waking up and then release block and either jump or mash light attack. This will take you some tries until you get it right, but it's totally worth learning. One thing that took me way too long to learn and that people that play other fighting games get immediately is that jumping is also a defensive tool. When you think about it, avoiding an attack is a form of defense. It's not only spacing, dashing backwards and forwards that allows you to dodge and punish stuff. You can simply jump over a lot of things. Mainly grabs, this is the only way you can avoid grabs besides using grab yourself at the same time, which is especially important if people are doing that thing where they use light attack followed by grab. If people are grabbing you a lot, try jumping more. This won't stop them completely because they can also grab you in there, but honestly, this is something that only really good players do, and you probably won't have to worry about it for a while. Another way to defend is simply mashing light attack. If you hit them first, it's like you're defending. It's your turn now. Push blocking is super straightforward if you do it early, but if you do it late, the timing can get a bit tricky. You need some experience and experimentation, but as a rule of thumb, usually push blocking after a heavy or a special attack is good. Just be careful with the timing of their assist. As a beginner, I would say don't worry too much about retreating guard. You have a lot on defense on your mind already. I just realized I forgot to mention down H, your anti-air move. This means you have invulnerability or priority over aerial attacks. Before I learned that, I thought that anti-air was just the best move each character had to deal with aerial attacks. But I didn't use much because I was worried I would time it wrong and they would still hit me first, but that's not the case. You can use this move super late and it will still work even though it looks like they should be hitting you. So if you see them jumping, automatically you have to think of using down H. Of course, they can just bait and block, but that's fine. Congratulations! If you made this far, now you know pretty much everything a beginner needs to know to play and enjoy Trax KO. If you felt like this was too advanced for you, it's probably because you didn't do the in-game tutorials. You can find them here. Don't forget to subscribe and please comment if you had any trouble at any part, if you want to add something that I maybe forgot. I will be posting a lot more videos regularly, and if you want to, you can catch me live on Twitch. I will begin my series from Silver to Challenger as a new player coming from League of Legends. In the beginning of the video, I promised you that you would learn everything you needed to know to get from the very beginning to Challenger, but if I'm being real, that was a bit too ambitious. You do have the tools to get off the ground and climb really high, if that's what you want to do, but if you want to climb all the way to the top, I have much more videos to post to help you get there. So, see you in the next one. Bye.